Middle piece now. And what you want to do is you want to fold your carpet piece in half with the inside laid out so you can see where you're gonna cut. Now if you look at your e-brake, it is pretty much, it's not quite exactly in the center. Neither is your shifter. Shifter's over to the left a bit. So you don't want your holes for these to be exactly in the middle, but you can kind of use that as a reference, the seam being the center of where you're going to want your hole. Now it's going to be the opposite of, so if you lay your carpet this way, it's going to be the opposite of that, so you almost want to flip it over this way, even though it's easier for me to do the other way, but I'm just showing you. You want the seam. Okay, I'm going to do this again here. Hold on one second. Okay, we'll work on this again here. So anyway, you notice how my carpet's laid out past the seat back, or seat bottom, and it'll go way past the front, way past the front if I just laid it out where it is. And that's kind of where we want our stuff in case we make a mistake. Then you're able to fix it. Now this is probably the hardest part of cutting your carpet. So you'll want your hole not right at the seam, but you'll want it on this side of it a little bit, just a little bit. You can cut it almost in the middle, and you'll be fine. But it's better if you cut it just a little bit over to the side, or wrapped over to this side, not on this side, but on the other side a little bit. And then, so you use this to line it up. So you say, this goes from right here. It's hard for me to do this with the camera, but it'll be about right here to right here. Now, you just know where that is. Doesn't mean you need, and you could just say for right here is this side, and then this side here. But then when you take it outside to cut it, you're going to want to cut it just a little bit past that, but use these as a reference. The other side over here, you can actually slip it over your heater thing. If you have a later model car, you're going to need your heater cables cut out a little bit wider over here, which you can actually just make a slit in here, make just a slit in here, and then put it over into place, and then cut it while it's in place if you need to, if you're worried about it. But you just want to mark it right now where it is. So come down right here, we'll say right there and right there. That's where the hole is going to be, and it's going to be like this, So I'll go ahead and take this out of the car, cut it after marking it like that. Then I'll slide this piece over the shifter and over the e-brake. And then what I'll do is I'll cut this piece while it's in place, because I'll just flip it backwards, cut it, and cut that out. But you need it over the shifter and over the e-brake just so you can get it into place. So I actually accidentally cut mine a little bit too big. But as long as your cuts are straight, it doesn't matter too much, because I'm actually going to put a e-brake boot on this and want to tuck it underneath. And that boot kind of flips out a little bit. If you look at the edges of those, it'll hide some of this cut I made on here. But the distance between here and here looks like it's pretty good, and that's where you mess up. If you make a mistake, if your distance between here and here is too long, then what you do is you end up with a wrinkle here, and I didn't. So that's a good thing first. And so what you're going to want to do on this piece is go ahead and flip it up, glue from the middle to the back, middle to the front, and so that because of the e-brake in there. So as you're gluing this thing in to place and pushing it down, glue on both sides of the carpet and the area you're putting it on. You get to the front right here, you flip this guy back like this, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'll flip it back, and I'll peel this back a little bit, and I will cut a nice circle right there, and then put it over the bar. I might even put a couple slits in it that'll hide, just to get it over the top of this. So you can see how that works. Just slides into place. Then of course you do the same thing you did on the sides. Cut a straight line here. Over here do the same. Put it into place. Glue everything down. And you want your edge to meet right up with the edge of this right here, that high spot. So if you get it in, you don't want to cut this part until you're all the way done putting this piece in, because you might put it in and take it back out just because you see some wrinkles that you're trying to get out of here. You're pulling it, taking it back out, trying to get those wrinkles minimized to where they're hidden in the right places. I mean, you're going to have a few of them, but try and make them as mild and not noticeable as possible. There's just a few right there, but I'm not really going to worry about it. So anyway, what I do at this point is leave it flip back, and then I'll just cut. I'll make it nice and straight when I do this. So I like this thing to match. I have to use this corner to match up and this corner to match up to make sure that I have it nice and straight. And I'll just cut back like this, where it's just right in the corner, and then flip this thing up, and then do the same thing over here. So I can show you guys. Then you got to cut around the gas pedal the same way. Flip it backwards. Make a straight cut into it. I'll see if I can show you guys a shot of that real quick. So what I end up with is something usually like this. And I'll set it down, tuck it back and forth a few times until I get it where I like it, and then I'll just slide it back in here around the gas pedal, depending on what kind of gas pedal you have. Tuck it in around in here, and I'll probably end up taking it back out a couple times to get it adjusted in the right place so that it's just around the gas pedal, and then tuck right down to the pedal assembly this way. So I might cut just a little bit more off of this and then tuck it again. And you just do that little by little until you get it where it's just right, because you can overcut it too much. Cut it back a bit first and then just work your way in slowly so you can make sure you don't have an ugly looking situation down there. So this is what you kind of end up with on this side. Goes along this edge, nice like that, tucks into here, flips out to here. Again, this is going to get covered up with carpet foam. Then you have some pie cuts you got to do along here. If you have this thing, if you don't, usually there's only 1 or 2 pie cuts to make. If you have this kickboard, and then all I got to do it around the other side. I'll show you. Alright, so eventually I'm going to put a regular gas pedal in here, so I wanted to cut around this gas pedal, and then when I put my other piece in, it's going to be just a slit. It'll go behind here, so there'll be a little bit of the bolt showing, of course, because you got to get in there to access that at some point when your clutch goes out. And so there are a couple pie cuts along here, which means just a slit, and then it just kind of lays in there so that it goes into the corner along this way. Again, it's like this. Along here, let's see how that looks further away. You can kind of see it fits like that. Of course, this is going to get covered up with that boot that's it has a kick out that goes around this part, so it doesn't show. A little bit off on my cut on there, but really not bad. I get compliments at every show for carpet on my cars. They go, "Wow, did you have a carpet kit or somebody do that?" I go, "No, I did it myself." So I'm just showing you guys, because somebody showed me at some point, and I just learned how to do it and just got better at it. And I figured, well, might as well show it to everybody else. Let's have everybody have a nice looking carpet, especially if you don't have a lot of money to go out and pay for carpet kits. So anyway, I'll show you on the next video how to do this section. This you got to get really precisely cut, because that has to lay right into this, where it goes over that hump to cover all those pie cuts and everything else. Yeah, I think that's the next piece to go in, and then it's going to be the floor pieces, and then we're done. It's really not that hard. It only takes about a day to do. About a whole day you'll spend doing this the first time, and you'll get it right. I usually take about 3 hours to do the whole thing at the most. But I think I'm done for tonight. I'm just foregoing watching TV. Why bother doing that when I could do something that's cool, make a car look nice. So for going a little bit of TV, YouTube, I'll do that. I watch those videos all the time. Probably watched all you guys doing your projects, and really like seeing people do something. It's fun. Well, I gotta get all this all cleaned up, and then tomorrow I'll go ahead and lay this piece in and take a video of that for you guys.